Hi guys, it's me, just Obscene again. And do you remember the part in the movie Pearl Harbor in which a sailor is played by Cuba Gooding Jr. and he's originally portrayed as a chef on the battleship, but when the Japanese start attacking Pearl Harbor, he ends up taking control of the anti-aircraft gun and take down a few of the Japanese airplanes before they end up sinking his battleship. Well, yeah, that part in the movie was actually accurate to what happened in real life, because the man who he's portraying in the movie is a man by the name of Doris Miller, and he's a quite fascinating person because during the real life event of Pearl Harbor, he was really working as a chef on a battleship, and when the kamikazes started to attack the ships in Pearl Harbor, he ended up manning a anti-aircraft gun. And may add, he was untrained in it too. He was untrained in the AA gun department. So, after he saved his own battleship, he ended up saving a bunch of sailors that fell into the water. So that makes him a hero, at least in my book, and by many other metrics and measures by other people. In fact, he actually won a bunch of awards for his bravery and courage on fire, quite literally. And one of them was the Navy Cross. Anyway, there was a new award that was going to be given to him posthumously. That means after he passed away, which he died pretty young at 24 years old. He died in, if I'm pronouncing that right, Kiribati. I know that from Shell Hogger movie. Anyway, and may I just say that before I get on with this tragic, obscene part of the story, I gotta say that in the depiction in the movie Pearl Harbor, it was actually really good for Mr. Michael Bay to actually do that properly, that part of the history properly, because in the movie it was pretty much one of the only historical actual facts in the movie. Because Pearl Harbor was one of those type of events that made the movies that was very Hollywoodized, if I may add the term. It was very dramatic, very historical inaccurate, and romanticized. So it was a very bold choice for Master Bay to include Doris Miller's story in there as accurately as he did. So bravo! I tip my hat to you if I had one on. So anyway, Mr. Miller is a hero, by most definitions of the word. And the Navy was gonna give him one of the highest honors that anyone could ever receive after death. And that would be to name a new aircraft carrier after him, which I think was very appropriate. However, it has been brought to my attention, and a few others, that they are thinking about canceling that, scrubbing the name off the list of people that will be named, that this ship will be named after, and you'll never guess who's first in line to be considered for the name of this ship, this aircraft carrier. I'll give you 3 guesses who the lady that fuck is that they are choosing for this ship name. Go, I'll give you a minute to think about it. It is our favorite president, Mussolini, Donald J. Trump, the coward, the guy who deferred from the military service for 4 or 5 times because of bone spurs, and this is actually quite aggravating because it's very obvious they're doing it to please the big man himself, and quite literally the big man himself. I'm sure he's so fat and so lazy and lethargic that if he were to go overboard on his ship, the man would probably sink to the bottom. I mean, this is obscene, it's so wrong and twisted, all because the guy Doris Miller was a black man, and Pete Hexus doesn't like the whole DEI thing. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. So no black men, no women, no anybody else of any other race other than pure white and Christian. Which is complete horseshit. Because this guy Miller definitely deserves to be honored by naming a battleship after him. Whether it be a battleship, whether it be a aircraft carrier, whether it be some other destroyer or something or other. You know, he definitely deserves that, and he gave his life to in serving our country. Not like that bastard who just got away with it from daddy's money. He lies about everything, who is a failure at everything that he tried to accomplish. He doesn't even deserve the sweat on my ass. That's how I feel about Trump. I mean, he's been known to try to credit for other people's achievements and ideas, but this is a new low even for him, because it's quite obvious that he didn't earn anything whatsoever by this, just because he's the president and had gazettes little suit and toady. He's probably doing it to warm up to Trump because his military campaign so far in Iran had been a big dud so far. And this is beyond angry. This is criminal what he's doing to this poor guy. You know, the spirit of Mr. Miller should come back and haunt the guy for the rest of his pathetic little life. Both of them, both Hexus and Trump. And I have a good feeling that when this ship does go into the ocean with the name Donald Trump on it, the U.S. has Donald Trump on it, they'll see it right to the bottom, again the old-fashioned cartoons. And yeah, that was they should change the name right after Trump leaves office for whatever reason. And yeah, you know, I think that, you know, isn't enough that we're going to be getting a battle fleet named after Trump, the new Trump class destroyers or whatever the case is. Isn't enough that you're going to be spending tens of billions of dollars to reformat the aircraft carriers so them are more or less like we used to in the 40s. Isn't enough that he got his face and ugly mug on, like passports or money, National Park Service passes, all that. Isn't enough that he's gonna be he tried to rename the Kennedy Center, the Trump Kennedy Center. That's not make me want to puke and all that stuff. When's it gonna be enough? When's it gonna be enough for this egomaniac? You know, he got his pictures everywhere, he got his mug everywhere, he got his dirty little fingers on everything that we hold dear in American life. He got tariffs, he got everything else that is stifling America. You know, when's it gonna be enough? Pretty soon you're gonna be able to get your new car, the Donald J. Trump vehicle, or whatever the case is, going to the store to go buy your Donald J. Trump orange juice or something like that, you know, or Donald Trump candy bars, or Donald Trump Federation vehicle to go to Trump see Park or something. You know, when's it gonna be enough? But yeah, this is extremely anger-inducing. You know, not everything that comes into fruition has to have Trump's name on it. You know, there can be some other names on, like I don't know, like the USS Doris Miller sounds right, or hell, my cat would be a better candidate than that idiot Trump. But I still prefer the USS Miller. That sounds better. Although, granted, you know, Stephen Miller might say, "Well, that's named after me." So you better put that first name on there too, Doris. Jesus Christ, this guy is out of control. It's like whenever you hear something bad about Trump and the administration to go with it, it's like that's pretty bad. Then you kind of get used to it. The anger goes down a little bit. But then the blood pressure goes right back up again when you hear shit like this. And then it goes right back to being anger-inducing and pain-inducing and nausea-inducing too. I mean, for Christ's sake, why can't you just leave everything alone the way it is? You know, why you gotta change everything to be of your liking, or because you're a demented old fool? I have heard though that is a sign of dementia, that you'd like everything you'd like to be changed to be your personal liking and your personal interest and whatever. But yeah, there's gotta be a limit to it. You know, you're honoring a dead sailor by naming something like that. You know, you should you should honor that. This has probably been in the works since before Trump even took office. So let it be. No, Trump's got it. No, I gotta have my name on everything. Like a dog, I gotta mark my territory with everything. With every drop of urine that I can muster. And you know, another thing that I feel bad for. I feel bad for the sailors that had to go on this USS Donald Trump, because obviously people aren't gonna like it that much. That the draft dodger is gonna be honored with a ship named after himself. That just burns my tongue whenever I say it. But anyway, it doesn't sound right. It makes it seem like all those sailors and soldiers that will be on the ship will be associated with MAGA and Donald Trump, like racist, bigoted, anti-trans, and anti-woman, and everything else. So, I feel sorry for those sailors that get put on there, unless you change the name to Doris Miller, or something other than Trump. You know, until his biggest dream when he got deferred the first time, went, "Daddy, can I have a sheep named after myself?" Yeah, you can pay enough money, you can. I mean, it'd be one thing if they renamed it as a good president, the good leader, to someone that got through war, or who helped us with the winning economy, or who helped us do something spectacular like the moon landing or the Mars landing or something or other, or fight aliens or something. But Trump hasn't done squat. He's a lazy bum. He just rides the coattails of everywhere else and milks everything to the maximum. And when the hurricanes destroy the salt caverns with all the oil reserves in them, that's when people will turn against Trump. But like you said, he's a complete idiot. He doesn't know what the word success is, because he is a complete idiot who refuses to learn from his mistakes. So, and also for the same matter, is that he's the only living president, the only sitting president that will have something named after himself, like an aircraft carrier or something. The biggest and the best ship in the Navy. I'm sure that's no coincidence whatsoever. That's the biggest and the best. Now, to my knowledge, Trump wasn't even in the Navy or in the Air Force, so that doesn't make any sense. I could see him getting like a tank or something named after him, or a military base, as horrific as that might sound. I could imagine that, because I think he was in the army at one point or another, or he was training for the army. Anyway, he did a piss poor job with that too. But if that's not any indication enough for him. But this whole Navy ship thing doesn't make a lick of sense. I hope that the Navy has better conscience than that. I hope they don't name it after him. They do name it after him. I hope that his name is removed from the side of the ship when he leaves office, or whatever the case is. And I hope that he's alive to see it happen, because I hope that when he can leave office, everything with his name on it, or image on it, or whatever on it, or anything that he's like in Washington D.C. gets stripped down, taken down, and bulldozed, whatever else. Because that's what he deserves. He deserves to live to see the day that all of his teams and all of his golf courses and all of his properties and all of his things that he thinks belongs to him gets all stripped down and returned back to the people. Like what happened with Muammar Gaddafi or Saddam Hussein. All those big important sentences of himself should be taken down, and I hope that he lives long enough to see that happen, because that's the biggest fear and the biggest nightmare, to lose all of his legacy, all of his power, all of his influence. So let's make that happen. And God bless the idea. Make him suffer. Like he made Americans suffer. And like he'll continue to make us suffer. And anyone that thinks that it's a good idea to keep this idea in the popular space, the Navy people that want to change it from Doris Miller's name to Donald Trump's name, let them be canned too. And fuck Pexif for even giving this idea to anybody in the first place, because Doris Miller definitely deserves the respect and honor of having a Navy warship named after him. Donald Trump, on the hand, I wouldn't even give him a little dinghy with his name on it. That's how pathetic he is. I could just see him going on the ship, acting like king shit, and then someone pushed him over the edge. in shark infested waters, and nobody trying to rescue him because it's that big of a big pile of human feces. Like in the movie Full Metal Jacket. Remember when the drill sergeant was giving it to the new recruits? He said, "How tall are you?" "I'm 6'0", sir." "I didn't even know the shit they stacked shit that high." Well, sure enough, Trump might not be a 6 foot anything, but he sure is a big pile of shit. Yeah, I would love to see Sergeant Ermy over there giving it to Trump. I would love to see that happen. And so you can roll around in the gate for that too. But yeah, this is obscene. This is really tragic, and it really says something to see that a Michael Bay Hollywood movie honors a fallen member of the U.S. Navy better than Donald Trump did in his administration in the Navy too. And that really says a lot because Michael Bay movies aren't known for their accuracy or respect for people, but it's a lot more respectful to have him being portrayed accurately in a movie than it is to have with the Trump administration is proposing for his name. I mean, that's all I can say about that. This whole message of Obscene is wrong on so many levels. Whoever is in charge of making that decision should be stripped of his rank and slapped across the face. But yeah, that's good enough for that. So yeah, I'm gonna put my socials in the description below. I would like to honor Doris Miller. Is a very fascinating character guy. God bless him. Thank you for my sacrifices. Fuck Donald Trump and protect this and any yes men that go along with everything that they put forward. And peace out, my brothers and sisters. I'll see you guys and girls in Internet next video. Sayonara, Auf Wiedersehen, und auf Wiedersehen.